Hey guys, it's Ivy here again, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I'm doing part 2 of decorating this little pumpkin. So in the last video, I made it out of clay, so it's me sculpting it and stuff. So if you guys want to see that video, then make sure to go check that out to see the first part of this video, which is me sculpting. So today we're going to be painting our little figure pumpkin here. So what I have is I have some black paint. I'm going to water it down, but this is going to be for like in the cracks. And then some orange and yellow paint. And also some brushes and other tools. So, and also a cup of water and something to mix my paint in. And lots of other stuff. But yeah. The first thing that I've got to do is mix up the right colors. So we're just going to move this pumpkin right now. It is dry. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to, oh yes, this is an orange paint where the lid comes off. But anyway, so we're going to put a little in there. Just keep in mind we don't need that much, just a few drops. And then we're going to put the cap back on. So I added some yellow and mixed it up to make a very nice orange color. So now it's time to get painting. So we're going to take our pumpkin and we're just going to get painting. So yeah, we're just going to paint the whole pumpkin except for the green part, the part that's going to be green. So yeah, we're just going to paint the whole pumpkin in this beautiful orange color. Okay, so I just finished painting the pumpkin. Now I'm just cleaning off my brush. Yes, you do need something to clean off your brush. You can just use a paper towel, tissue, toilet paper, or a rag, whatever you have that you can use. And then dry it off. We have a clean brush. Oh, and by the way, we're also going to need some green paint. I'm really sorry I forgot to mention that. But now we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw some little black lines. Gotta make my camera focus here. Okay, so we're just going to do some little black lines with our brush in these little dents that we made earlier with the clay. But we're going to make sure to water down our black a lot because we don't want it to be so dark. I mean, I guess you could just use brown, but that'll give it a bit of a different effect. I would recommend just using a little drop of black and watering it down a lot. Okay, so now I basically have some thick, goopy watercolor. So that's what it looks like. Now we're going to go ahead and paint in the little spots. I'm actually going to be using this skewer. That is what I used to make it, and now I'm going to use it to paint it. So we're just going to go ahead and go through there with some black paint. And this might not turn out how you want. Since we watered down the paint, it kind of has a choice of going wherever it likes. So this could be a total disaster. But I'm hoping it doesn't turn into one because it's going pretty good so far. This is going to take a few minutes to fill in everything. And if you forgot to put the dent on your pumpkin, I know this isn't really a tutorial, but in case you guys are looking at doing this, I'm telling you. So, yeah, I know that looks really, really black, but, yep. Okay, so, about halfway through, I actually changed my mind. I'm not going to be doing black in there because it just looks way too dark. I thought it would work out, but like I said, I've never done this before. So I really have no clue what's going to work out and what's not. So now we're just taking a little bit of paint here and fixing that up. So you can't see that it was ever painted with black. So, yeah, you can always do that. When you're done painting, you can mix up the same color and put it back. So now we just got to cover all the cracks of our pumpkin with some paint, because that was not my plan originally, but got to do it now. So yeah, we might add a little bit of shading in those cracks, but it is very tricky to do that. So yes, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to need to paint the top of our pumpkin. So this part, which is supposed to be green, so we're going to paint it green. And of course, if you're doing like a magic pumpkin or you just feel like using colors, then you can use realistic colors, but I am just making a normal pumpkin, so green. I don't know. These paints are so hard to open, but anyways, that doesn't really matter. So then we're just putting some green in there. And it's quite a dark color of green, so we're just going to water it down a bit, which will just make it a little bit lighter. Mix it up, of course, once it's watered down. And then use it on our tiny little pumpkin. So we're just going to put a little bit of paint on there to start with and just mix that paint around on the top here. And try to cover the whole thing with just a small amount of paint, because we're going to be doing some coats on the top here. Because it obviously looks kind of sloppy right now. And then I was thinking of painting the stem later, but why not do it now? And the paints that I'm using dry pretty quick, but I know a lot of more expensive / cheap brands dry a lot slower, so you just have to wait more in between coats. So we did our first coat. Now we're going to wait a few minutes and do our second one. It's not completely dry now, but I think we're going to do the second coat. It's definitely dry enough. So we're just going to take a tiny bit of paint again and move it around. And okay, so you're just going to take a tiny bit of paint, put it on. In the first few coats, it's going to look a bit sloppy. Now let that dry. Okay, so while that was drying, I tried my best just to add a little bit of shading in the cracks there. I just ended up mixing up a darker orange color. So, yeah. So I think it's about time for coat 3. It's still a little bit wet though, so I'm just going to wait a few more minutes. Of course, you can blow on it and stuff like that. Okay, so now that the paint is dry, we're going to do another coat, obviously. So we're just going to take our green and apply it. And also a tip for knowing if it is dry yet, try just to put a tiny dot of paint on it. And then if the paint comes off where you rub with your brush, then you know that it's not ready. But if it doesn't, then it should be fine. So that's my tip for this video. Okay, guys. And that is my finished pumpkin. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I think it turned out really well. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you're planning on making this, then it helped you. Bye, guys.